found out was this deuterium is present in the same foods that are high in lectins. So, if people are feeling at all under the weather, they've got any, because you know everyone's having to go gluten-free. What it is that if you're eating loads of grains and you're sitting in front of a computer all day, basically you've got loads of deuterium in your gut, and then you've got the EMFs damaging your gut. So then therefore you start to get things like leaky gut. So if anyone's, everyone's going gluten-free and they're saying, I'm still having problems. And I had to give up carbs completely, let alone grains. Like, I kept trying to find all
How
these
do you
more...
feel giving up carbs in the sense of, we sort of spoke about it earlier. People at first are like, what the fuck do you eat?
Yeah, people look at me like, really? And when I tell people I only eat twice a day now, because I'm on the ketogenic diet where your body runs on fat, it actually causes a lot less inflammation and you feel full for longer.
But the funny thing is you put weight on in that diet.
But yeah,
well, the funny thing is...
sustaining
hang on,
foods.
Okay, so, all right. Well, Johnny's saying because the fats are long-sustaining foods compared to carbs. I know, but I'm saying technically, right, people go, but you're eating fat. You're eating this thing.
And you lose some weight.
No, well, they expect you... Most people go on the ketogenic diet to lose weight, right?
Yeah, so that's the funny thing. You balance your weight. Whoever eats a ketogenic diet, whatever issue they've got, because Jack Cruz was saying that fat is basically inflammation. So if when people get like the middle-aged spread and all whatever,
yes, I do.
It's actually inflammation, and it's from eating carbs. And what happens is the more these electronic devices steal our energy, the more we crave carbs. So then it's like that's how you become a carb addict. And then that's how you get inflammation in your body. So I was a massive carb addict, and I couldn't imagine life without carbs. And now,
let's define carbs. Let's define carbs. Bread, rice.
Yeah, grains.
Sugar.
Grain.
Are we talking about sugar? So when we're saying sugar, we're not talking about fruit here. We're talking about, a Bounty Bar or a Cadbury's chocolate.
What Jack was saying, which does make sense, and I know he's trying to use matrix concepts to work it all out, but it does make sense. He said we should eat seasonally and locally, because apparently if I'm in the UK and it's winter here, if I eat a banana, it was grown in a high light environment. So when I eat it, I'm not in a high light environment. It's winter here in the UK. So basically, I'm kind of blowing my body's circuits by eating something that's got more electrons than one would expect to have in this environment. So you're confusing your body, and you're, in the winter...
I think you should become a dietitian. No, really and truly, because this is like... You're giving me what I instinctively know and what has been working for me, but you're giving it to me in such a way that I'm getting food as my medicine. So it's like if I was sitting in UK and I was depressed, I'd have a fucking banana. So it felt like summer days. No, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yes, well, you do.
What's the comfort food? Because comfort food's all that lectin shit, isn't it? Sorry, we've got a weird delay here. Because comfort food's all that lectin stuff, isn't it? The bowl of hearty soup with the potato and the bread.
So what would you be, just for an example, what would you be better off eating?
Yeah, give us your daily do-do.
Climate right now.
You're in winter in England. What's your do-do? What's your regime?
Okay, well, I've been cheating a bit because I've been trying to put on weight, and I've been craving chocolate. Like I told you, I've been making my homemade raw chocolate, and I've actually calmed down now. But
you get that with raw chocolate though. You get that initial burst, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, it's because I've been healing so much in the last 2 months. It's no wonder I haven't got a lot done.
Poster girl shit. I mean, if you could have seen Lyndsey 4 months ago, first of all, she was a biafran, like fucking. What were you? 20 kilos or something? No. I mean, my eats weighed more than her, you know, like, Jesus. Groceries I bought home weighed more than her. Yeah, 6
I've actually put on 30% of my body weight in less than 3 months. And I felt so much different.
Everything's rocking different. Mm-hmm. You know, you are embodied. You are doing it. You are finally believing your own publicity, or what I've seen as your potential, and you're fucking blossoming. But that's why I was talking about the dietitian, because people are lost. We all know that. In that lostness, you have the determination to find it for yourself, right?
Well, I got pretty close, but I found it in the nick of time.
But your experience is worth sharing, and other people can find in your experience a lead to find their own.
Well, I was really excited when you said you cut out carbs and you felt better, because I thought, because I didn't know whether it was something unique to me.
No.
But basically, what the people that do the ketogenic diet often eat meat, and obviously I don't eat meat. But I've discovered that basically in the winter you're meant to eat things like ghee. So, like, you just eat everything you eat. Coat it or fry it, whatever, in ghee. Make sure you have lots of fat. In the summer, coconut oil, because coconut oil is
the light. It's been in the banana.
Yeah, and also because you're eating carbs in the summer, coconut oil is antibacterial, antifungal, or whatever, so it helps offset the damage it could do because you have carb-eating bacteria. So it stops the carb-eating bacteria getting out of hand. But what I've been eating is green veg, okay? Any leafy veg.
Do you cook it?
Lightly, yeah. I've seen it on low temperature. I've tried raw kale before and it's a bit chewy. I was thinking about your raw food, because in the UK it's so cold here. We don't really want to eat raw in the winter. You know, it's all...
There's a guy I know in the UK, and I know him from here, in the sense that when I had my shop, he used to come in a lot. He was actually a chef, and he's continued on the raw journey. And he's in Somerset. Is that near?
Oh, right.
Anyway,
yeah,
well, he does these raw food banquets, like degustation nights, you know, pop-ups. So I'll hook you up with him, or I'll give you his thing, and you can have a look at what he's doing, because he is mad raw and in England in winter. So he might give you a few hints.
Yeah, because I was thinking about your raw food, and I thought, I've kind of got off the raw food tip. But any green leafy veg, what happens is sunlight and cold both deplete deuterium. And now that's in plants or anything we eat, and also in ourselves.
Hang on a second, sunlight and cold deplete deuterium.
Yeah, one or the other. Or both together.
One or the other. So if you're in the tropics, you're fucked, and if you're in, the Antarctic, you're fucked.
Well, no, they're
wanted to deplete. Okay, all right. Inversion!
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, basically, say root vegetables are the highest in deuterium because they're in the soil, and the soil's, depending on where you live. And interestingly, morgellens, I know I keep jumping around here, but morgellens in America, the places where morgellens is concentrated, I found another map, and it matches exactly where deuterium is worse, okay? And deuterium, fungi and bacteria thrive in deuterium, yeah? So it makes sense why, I had Lyme disease and I couldn't get rid of it. Chronic Lyme disease, some people get over it and some people don't, and that's what it is. So if you want to deplete deuterium, if you're somewhere where it's hot, you can go outside all day. The sunlight helps you deplete deuterium. If you're somewhere like here, I've been using the cold. So the lower temperature your body's at, the higher your cellular conductivity, so the more deuterium you deplete.
Is that because you're shivering? I mean, where does this cold threshold stop?
Is that why people go swimming in cold water?
Yeah, that probably is better. I think I can handle that kind of cold shower, that immersion in cold. I don't know if I could be in sub-zero for too long. Although if I went through menopause, I could. I could probably flash the yin yang.
Yeah, my mum's always bloody hot, but then she's got thyroid issues as well. So
be there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Wow.
But
So it's the extremes of temperature.
yeah, basically,
So
cold.
don't be comfortable.
You know when mobile phones overheat, yeah, and they stop working. The colder they are, the better they work because they're conducting better. Yeah, it's the same thing. So, if you're in a hot country, you need to get outside in the sunlight. If you're in a cold country, don't use central heating too much. And I mean, this last summer, I felt like I had rigor mortis in the summer, and I didn't know what was causing it. But the more I expose myself to cold, the healthier I get, and the more I can tolerate cold temperatures. And I can definitely feel I'm depleting deuterium. You know, like, I mean, you're in a warmer country there, but you know, if you ever go somewhere really, really cold, you get that urge to pee, like when you've been out in the cold.
Yeah.
I don't know when enough cold there. That's your body depleting deuterium because it's raised your cellular conductivity.
Right.
Same as when, you know, like when your nose runs in the cold, that's it, when you sweat, everything, that's what your body is doing. It's depleting deuterium.
Right.
But the easiest thing to do is either drink spring water because it's been out in the sun, it's been in the cold. Nature naturally depletes deuterium, so spring water is quite low. The lowest,
Yeah,
the
but there's
best
all that other shit floating around in spring water at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like the temperature might be low.
Theoretically.
Yeah, but theoretically I'll say, because there could be, if it's a runoff from the road, then there's going to be arsenic and whatever the fuck in it. You know what I mean? I'm just, disclaimer, don't just go and drink water until you know what's fucking in it. But yes, theoretically, the drinking of spring water. No, there was just this big thing recently here about it, people drinking and they're untreated water.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, but I found it interesting because I'm thinking, is that fuckery to stop us? Because what it is, they're saying that spring water is naturally energized by light and, you know, it's naturally deuterium depleted, but actually the best spring water to drink is anywhere from a glacial runoff.
Of course.
Because with deuterium's got a higher freezing point and a higher boiling point. So basically, if you drink glacial spring water, it's naturally lower in deuterium. Okay, and apparently deuterium is high in Australia. That's the worst water in the world.
No doubt. We're the penal colony, darling. They experiment on us. They do the whole fucking lot. Unbelievable. You know.
Right.
Well, we're so far away from the rest of the world. We can be sort of a standalone experiment. You know, Europe's got its thing going. That's like 24 hours on a plane. America's 13 or 14, say, on a plane. It's like there's a little bit of space that we can be a controlled experiment.
Yeah, because they seem to be coming down hard on Australia and everywhere, don't they?
I don't know. I'm so off the grid, babe, so I don't know half the time. People say things like, oh, really? I've got to go and cheer. Oh, what's that? I mean, you know, unless it pops up with you guys or someone sending me something, or, I mean, I usually get to find out what I need to find out, so I never worry about, am I missing the news or whatever. If it's really big, I'll know, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, I sit in that moment, I can sit back and not being a part of it. It's really funny watching the bigger picture, who the players are, the stage, what's really happening. You know, like when you're not involved and reacting to it, like anything, you know. And so that's been a real, both an eye-opener and a comfort, because you can see, in seeing that, then, you know, this whole reality can reformulate from a new perspective, rather than you know, this perspective of, oh, look at these, we're fucked, we're at the mercy of these people, they're going to do this, this and this. Yeah. I
love not seeing the news and having no idea what's going on. If someone declared nuclear war, I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? It's not in my reality anymore.
Exact. No, but in that, if enough people felt that, don't you think that would outweigh the collective and therefore create that as a reality? But they keep it in your face. Trump's always saying, I'm going to fucking bomb you. And the other one's saying, oh, I don't like, you know, it's like they always, I can't tell you how many clients I have so frightened of a third world war. and they're rational beings.
I often get people say, "Did you hear about what happened in Bali or this place or that place?" No. Oh.
I know. The thing is, when there's some kind of disaster, though, I look like some kind of cunt because they're like, "Oh, isn't it terrible what happened? All those people died," and I'm like, "Who did? What?" And I don't know. It's not. It's not in my reality.
Well, no, I just turn around and I say, "Oh, what happened?" And then I usually know what happened, not by what they're saying, but by their emotional reaction. It's like, "Oh, so they were looking for some this to harvest. Oh, look at that." You know, it's just it takes, for me, it doesn't make me feel so overwhelmed and like whitewashed by this fucking PC bullshit of this is how the reality is. You got it. There's something wrong with you because you don't like this reality we've provided for you. Yeah, right, there is. Thank God, right?
Trouble.
That's right. Never mind, in joke. So it's like, you know, the more people actually, instead of spouting these, "I'm an organic creator being," well, fucking tell me what that means and tell me what it means to you. Because if you're telling me you're an organic creator being, then this is what you're creating. Right?
I remember when everyone used to say, "You create your own reality," and because I've been through such hell with my health, it was like saying, "Well, it's your fault you're in this mess because you've created it." And I was like, "No, fuck off. I'm sorry."
I get why they're saying it, but again, it's like a truth twisted to make you a victim, to make you less than, to make you dependent on the system.
And make you feel bad about yourself that you fucked up.
But it's inversion. It's not, it's not what we're creating. I wouldn't have created bloody 17 years for health.
If you sit in the news realm, you're being fed a reality that you create. As soon as that fear locks and loads it, boom, boom. There's the geometry that's being energized. Thanks for that. You know? So, I mean, no thanks. I don't need that in my life. Oh, sorry, no, what we were talking about was when people say you create your own reality. I always used to say you create your experience of the reality. Because at the moment, you're in a reality you don't know how to control. So you can only create your reaction or experience of it. As soon as you actually understand what the reality is and you can start to manipulate it, well, that's a different story. Then you can create your own experience within the reality. But if you're saying you're going to create your own reality, then that includes all the inorganics and all that stuff. I wouldn't be creating that.
Exactly.
So I think they need to but this is where these catchphrases, and so-and-so says that, "Oh, like mind, okay, I'll listen to them," and and it just keeps going. And the internet's been such a great tool for them. YouTube, wowza, they've had the best transmission, the best set of harvesting, even better than TV, because the people actually participate. TV, they just watch. With YouTube, they're back in there. They're writing comments, the whole bit.
It's building energy and supporting that as a reality.
Now, if they are harvesting that DNA life, if they are doing that, then why do you not have a say? Why can you not control that? If you're taking complete control of the mothership, why cannot all satellites from it be under your control? So take my energy, fucker. Let's boogie. Seriously, wake up and smell it. I mean, if you control your reality, why don't all these people then turn it round? Why are they still creating the reality that's been dictated to them?
It's beyond most. Even say you've got a kind of sleepy organic, the reality is really like beyond what you could ever imagine. How much illusion there is. It's deeper than you would ever imagine, isn't it? Really. I mean, a lot of people get like that pharmaceuticals are bad, that the military, is doing their shit, the government's doing their shit, but
it's your shadow, Lyndsey. It's your shadow. I hate that fucking shit. Oops, sorry, but we've had videos on that before. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, seen it. Yeah.
So what were you saying? I interrupted you, pardon.
That's right. It's just that, like, just thinking like about, say, the couple of organics I know, like they can get a certain level, but if you hit them with it, the whole truth,
The
it's
mother
kind of,
load.
yeah, it'd just blow their fucking brains out, wouldn't it? They'd be like, what the
Look, it depends on how much they're willing to let go of this, right?
Mm.
And they're willing to suspend what they've been fed. Sorry. Suspend what they've been fed and actually feel the truth. Sometimes it's scary, or it's going to make them angry. I've been duped, or motherfucker, or, you know, whatever the thing is that has been used in the spell to lock them in it. So often, like when I was clearing that energy I was speaking about before, when we first came on from my fire sphere, I was quite observant. It was just all happening. And then suddenly I felt the emotion as I was clearing it, and it was terrifying. But because I knew what was happening, I could pull myself out of it really quickly and then unlock that key that held the fuckery. But I could imagine if I wasn't in that state, or I was new to it, and I found something came over me. And when I say came over me, came to me. And it's like, oh my God, am I mad for thinking that? You know, if people don't have enough trust in themselves, then they will doubt it. And that's what they rely on. They've made you from the get-go rely on the outside to tell you. They've made you from the get-go, it's a reflection of you. No, not really. It's as within, so without. If it was a reflection of within, then it would be my essence. But you see, they've separated our consciousness and essence and fucking, as it's written in the thing. And so in doing that, they could do it. They got away with it. But now, as it's all being restored, wakey, these people are feeling something's wrong. They are feeling, and so what's been happening now, I see, is that they're trying to take control of that narrative. So they're trying to explain it away or give it a matrix term or whatever. I mean, that deuterium, what did they explain it as? What I'm saying is, was it global warming? Was it something else we did with our cars and suddenly deuterium was born? Do you know what I mean? It's always our fault that we're creating something to kill ourselves.